Sneelock. Very strong desk, but extremely heavy. The top's got to go 60 pounds at least. More work than I really wanted to do by myself, but I managed it. Just got to be careful. Now I have to go out in the garage and get the screws so that I can fasten the top down. And that's going to be a job. Might have been easier to lay the top down upside down and put the legs on top of it and screw it in. But I don't know if I could roll it over after I did that. So what we'll do is do what we do the best we can when we do it. It has a handle to crank it up, and the handle has been disconnected, so it's just flopping around here. That makes it a little difficult to manage. But before I can put the handle back on, I really need to get the table raised up so I can reach underneath there without having to crawl around on my hands and knees or lay on my back. Because neither one is something that I particularly want to do. But I gotta tell you, doing this isn't much higher on my list of things that I like. I wonder if I can put a clamp on here and hold this thing in position while I crank on the handle. I was hoping it would go easier as it got higher, but it doesn't appear to be doing that either. That seems to have the cable bound up. As high as it goes. That might just be as high as it goes. That's pretty high for a desk. So one screw there goes into there. One screw through here goes into that hole up there. Same thing on the other side. So now I'm going to set it down. I'm going to see if I can get a screw started into that hole. Do the same thing on the other side and then pull these around so they line up. There's 4 holes in the cover. And those 4 holes line up with these 4 holes here. Then there's 2 screws for these 2. They go right there. That'll let the handle tuck up underneath the front of the desk and out of the way. And it's got this little clip for the handle to pop up into and latch. So you can unlatch it, pull it out, crank it up, slide it back in, swing it up, catch it into the latch. Okay, we have a plan. 2 5/8 from the back edge. There. Held together good enough to hold for a while. Tremendously heavy thing. Whenever you're trying to line something up, best to not tighten up the screws until you have all of them started. That way you don't end up with tolerance stacking, throwing the last screw out of alignment. When I talk about tolerance stacking, when I drill a hole, I say, okay, I want to be within 10 thousandths. How did I come up with 10 thousandths? Well, it's the diameter of the hole versus what I have to hook it up to, and the equipment that I'm using to drill it with. And I try and say, okay, with a hand tool and a prick punch and layout, I can hold it within 10 thousandths of its true location. That's fine. First hole is within 10 thousandths. The second hole is within 10 thousandths of its original location. But the problem I run into is, first hole is within 10 thousandths, the second hole is within 10 thousandths. That means this one can be 10 thousandths to the left, and that one can be 10 thousandths to the right. So I can end up with an extra 20 thousandths in the distance between the holes. Not a problem, you just make the holes 20 thousandths bigger in diameter than the screw itself. Well, that's all well and good until I say, oh, well, okay, this bottom piece, I have 4 screws. That means I can be 20 thousandths out in both directions. Oh, that means I have to make the hole 40 thousandths bigger than its original size on all 4 holes, because I don't know which one's going to end up misaligned. I could have 3 of them too high by 20 thousandths. I could have 3 of them too high by 10 thousandths, and 1 of them too low by 20, and I'll be fine. But if I end up with half of them one direction and half of them the other on diagonals, it gets really messy. Now, pull that out. I'm able to crank that handle. Have it down, swing it over, clip it into the clamp. I'm good. Nicely made table, well designed. So why do I have to have them all in place before I tighten them? What should that be a problem with? Well, because the hole can be 40 thousandths bigger, then that means I can have this outer housing not only the hole 10 thousandths too high, but now I have the hole 40 thousandths up and locked down. that puts this screw possibility of 50 thousandths out. Son of a gun, my original hole 40 thousandths being too big, won't fit anymore. So that's what I talk about with tolerance stacking. Tolerance on the first hole has an effect on the tolerance on the second hole. Usually it's not a big problem. In the real world, that happens all the time. And you just deal with it.